Hello, my name is Chris and I will compare and contrast the Mazda 3 GT Sport all-wheel drive 2020 with the 2020 Toyota Corolla Nightshade model. Unfortunately, the only day we could film was during a limited time with Ross. He had the Mazda 3 and I had the Corolla, and we had them together for less than 2 hours, and I was unable to shoot this head-to-head correctly. So you are getting a cheaped out production from this video. Though to tell you the truth, this is more a compare and contrast, since neither of us informed the manufacturers there would be a head-to-head analysis. Also, this comparison is a highlight reel meant to complement the individual reviews that I made for them. I'm sure you'll find them informative and easy to listen to. Links in the description below. You should probably watch those first. I think when comparing and contrasting these two cars, you have to look at what the customer wants. Judging by the sales leader, first Civic, then Corolla, Elantra, Mazda 3, then Golf, we can make an informed conclusion as to what the customer wants. Unlike other car reviewers, this sales chart is the basis of the comparison. Based on that chart, I'm making a safe assumption that I would rank in order of importance to the buyer: number 1, reliability; number 2, fuel economy; number 3, price; number 4, comfort; number 5, looks, driving dynamics, and luxury. In terms of reliability, I think the Corolla Hatchback is number 1. There is an industry consensus on this point. Fuel economy is also better in this Corolla Hatchback, so at this point we can understand why Corolla is the sales leader. However, for the price, I do give an edge to Mazda 3 Sport because there is quite a bit of value here. For comfort, I would also give the edge to the Mazda 3 Sport. The suspension was slightly more comfortable most of the time, and the cabin is a bit quieter, especially on the highway. For looks, although this Corolla Hatchback does look very good, the Mazda 3 edges its rival with more dynamic sheet metal and maturity. Driving dynamics goes to the Toyota Corolla Hatchback because it has a more playful independent suspension, and the CVT engine steering combination creates a more involved driving experience, as I found myself driving quickly for no reason, whereas the Mazda 3 Sport was a more comfortable performer. This surprised me, and you really feel that after driving both back to back. For the luxury, the Mazda 3 is so far ahead of the Corolla that one wonders if these cars are in the same league. It is interesting how Mazda 3 seduces the customer this way. I certainly was. Sitting behind the wheel of the Mazda 3, I could not help but think that even a person who has a big budget for cars could possibly buy an all-equipped Mazda 3 GT and be very content driving it. So that is the analytical comparison. Certainly both cars offer a lot, and both are recommendable because they are both so competent in the areas of their specialization. Though I must say the Corolla's specialization in reliability and fuel economy are probably what explains its sales edge. The following are short clips of my reaction driving both cars back to back. You have to decide which one suits your priorities. It should be noted that these cars as sedans would yield different results because the Corolla Hatchback is so different compared to the Corolla sedan, whereas the Mazda 3 sedan and hatchback are more similar. So the main highlights for me driving the Mazda 3 compared to the Corolla is I'm struck with a sense of you're still paying when you're driving a Toyota for reliability, and let me explain why. We saw the new Corolla in 2015. It was refreshed in 2018. We saw the hatchback come out shortly thereafter, and I think there was a general feeling amongst car reviewers that in terms of the styling, Toyota had caught up the competition and yet remained reliable, which was kind of incredible and which explains its awesome sales, in part at least. The problem with that analysis is that the competitors in terms of style have jumped ahead again. I can think of the Kia Forte. I can think of possibly the Honda Civic in terms of just its general ease of use, which is at least as good, if not better, than the Toyota. And I can think definitely of this Mazda 3. The Mazda 3, in terms of the interior quality, it is just so far ahead of that Toyota. For the first time ever in my life, I would say, well, if you are a younger client, I would recommend the Toyota Corolla Hatchback. This is the first time in my life that I recommend a Toyota product to the younger clientele and the Mazda product to the older clientele. The car business scene is always changing, and ultimately you still have to think of this car as more option featured, more luxurious, and you have to think of that Toyota as more sporty and more the long-term purchase in terms of its bulletproof reliability. So those are the main points for me that stand out when driving this Mazda. Let's go into the Toyota Corolla and see what that's like. In the Toyota Corolla Hatchback now, it's really surprising how this sporty drive is apparent. The steering wheel is much more alive. The suspension a little bit harder, though the independent suspension kind of masks that over most bumps. That was a good remark from Ross he made on the French video. What to say, what are the main differences? Well, I find the interior quality here, I can feel it right away. Although there is the same amount of room if you want, I just find it's just so much more luxurious. You're in another league of cars. In fact, driving that Mazda 3, I was thinking, why would anybody buy an Audi A3, right? I think main differences, even though the material quality here, I must say, is quite good. The engine specs are somewhat different, engine transmission, but I find they are comparable. I find this CVT very sprightly in terms of its reaction. I find the engine very sprightly in terms of its reaction. A real plus value over the base engine of the Corolla sedan. I would certainly tick that option right away. We're getting excellent fuel economy here. I'm getting about 6.4 for my week, and that I think is because of the CVT. In the final analysis, if you want a sportier car, I think you're going to go for this one. I think if you're going to be buying a vehicle, I would definitely choose the Corolla because of the long-term reliability and the incredible resale value. The Mazda 3, definitely good for the lease. My choice for the lease anyway. And also, if you're going to be doing a lot of mileage, you could consider the short-term and medium-term purchase for the Mazda, because Ross makes the remark that although the warranty is 3 and 5 years, it is unlimited mileage. So that is something to consider. And those are my thoughts on these two excellent cars.